Good morning, guys. Today I'm behind the wheel of the 2-liter Mazda 3 Hatchback full spec, the plus version. So just to recap, Mazda 3, the new Mazda 3 that arrives Malaysia, has 3 levels of specs, alright? And it starts from 139, let's call it 140, 140k, 150k, 160k. So a lot of you has been shouting, wow, that's expensive, that's expensive. Well, you park the 160k one, this one, next to a Volkswagen Golf R, which is the same price. And you compare the specs, compare everything else. Then you'll know that you're talking crap, basically. Okay? Now, is this expensive versus its traditional rivals, the Civic and Corolla? Yes. In fact, put aside the specs, okay? The spec was high until the Corolla arrived. The Corolla arrived with specs that arguably rivals that of the Mazda 3, and yet it is about 20,000 ringgit more affordable to buy. 22,000 ringgit more affordable to buy. And the new Toyotas, they drive well anyway. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about, I want to talk more, but you get people like that. Come on, man, just do the world a favor, mind you. Oh my dear, oh my lord. Okay, the 2-liter engine, it makes 160 over horsepower, so it is a reasonably fast engine. Okay, in fact, it is rather revvy, and because it's naturally aspirated, power would come. I mean, the power that are stated in the papers would only come later, right? Oh, look at the front end. I think it's beginning to. It's starting to get a little bit boring if I were to tell you that, wow, Mazdas drive great. They all drive great. Okay, that's a fact, and that's not something that we need to discuss anymore. Now, in day-to-day driving, I've been driving this for 3 days now. You know what? Do I feel a significant power advantage over the 1.5? Can I say that it doesn't feel as big as what the paper suggests, because both engines are rev happy. Both, I mean, obviously the 2-liter is faster, alright. But in day-to-day driving, I really don't feel that big of a difference in terms of what one was able to do much more than the other. Okay, it's a very damp morning, so now the 2-liter, it is full spec. Okay, you get a sunroof, you get lane keep assist, you get automatic braking, you get radar cruise control, you get lane keep assist, you get everything. Apart from a 360 camera, you literally have everything. Drive so precise with this car. engine, lovely transmission. Sorry guys, I'm just enjoying it. Now, is there anything that I wish for? Bitier brakes. Same goes. I want the brakes to be not immediate bitey, but as you progress down the brake pedal, I want it to feel grippier, firmer, you know, more stopping power. Basically, that's what I hope. You know, it's nice. It's nice to modulate. It's a very nice day-to-day brake caliper. But mind you, this car is not slow, and with the handling of this car, you end up with a lot of situation whereby the car just is able to handle it, and you'll be driving faster than you thought you would have been, you know? Weird. Just now the brakes feel very firm. I could be wrong. Anyway. Let's give you a nice overview of the car. See, the weird thing with this suspension is that when you're going fast, right, it just absorbs everything. You know, you don't hit the bump stop. The suspension just are able to absorb everything, especially rough surfaces like that when you are going fast, right? It's just nice. However, when you're going slow, you feel more of the road than you would really want to, especially from the rear, the torsion beam, right? Definitely. So that's weird thing. When you're going fast, when you're going spirited driving, it just absorbs everything up. Lovely. So shut. Actually, I would prefer to go there, but nonetheless, let's reverse in. Okay, let's do the walk around. Now tell me, is this not one of the best looking cars out there? Yes, I'm back with the Mazda 3, but this is the 2-litre full spec version, the one that has every single thing fitted in. Alright, I just want you to take a longer look at the paint, the contours of the car, the way it was being shaped, the fact that there are no hard lines running over the car. This is a design revelation. When the industry is infatuated with, you know, body lines and all that, Mazda just went away with everything and went back to the days of those carrozzeria, right? The coach builders, the Italian coach builders, right? They're able to make body panels that mimic the handiwork of those really skillful craftsmen. Damn, so nice, especially when you move along and you see how the reflection. Look at the reflection.
how light gets warped by its body panels. And of course the paint, the Mazda Soul Red paint. And it's just amazing that a brand that belongs to what people would perceive as competitors of Honda, Toyota, actually embark on stuff that usually supercar makers would do, or Italians would do, you know. Beautiful design and a rich, deep gloss paintwork, you know, that how many layers they need to go into to produce this result is just staggering. Okay, now there are no visual differences from outside between the 1.5 and the 2 liter, and the 1.5s are fitted with smaller wheels and some Blue Earth tires, eco tires. These are the Bridgestone Turanzas, which are fitted to the Mazda 6 as well. Lovely tires, not super duper high performance tires, but very very good for daily use and comfortable as well. Now the 2 liter gets the proper headlamps, right, projector, LED, and it looks way better. Okay, and of course the grills are the same. Sorry, I can't help but notice this. Look at that. Look at how the car shine as though we're taking a photo in some photography studio. Look at that. It's the paint. Okay, anyway, sorry, I let that interrupted. Okay, the grills are gloss black as well, and the Mazda logo up here. Oh, sorry. Here, you will see that it's the flat one because it houses the radar. Okay, sorry, I need to come back to the paintwork. I just kept looking at it. Tell me, is this not expensive? Okay, the paint. Tell me, if you buy your Civic, okay, and then you go to some paint guy, some really really famous paint guy, and you tell them you want these sort of rich tone, super duper multi-layer, deep glossy crazy paint. Okay, see if the guy charges you 10,000 ringgit for it or not. The thing is this, there are expensive stuffs in the world, right? There are expensive stuffs in the world. You can say that the local brand Bonia, you know, it's a Bonia, you know. How can you compare that to, you know, Coach or Giorgio Armani, blah blah blah? But if you step into Bonia's shop, take a look at their shoes. All right, they are selling shoes that are 700 ringgit, 800 ringgit. Why? Because they actually hire people in Italy to do it, right? Beautiful leather to do it. There are things that actually cost money, regardless of the brand. Okay, and these things, paintwork like this, they're expensive. Make no mistakes. Okay, radar cruise control, these things are expensive. Beautiful cars, they ought to be expensive. All right. What a lovely car. Yeah, it has got to be the most beautiful car out there. I'm supposed to do my review, but I kept looking at its lines. I kept looking at how that little bit shines off the sunlight. Right? That thing just captivates me, man. I just want to put a camera here and then just stand here and gawk at it. Okay, the more you look at this car, the more you see this car on the streets. I saw one last night, one guy driving a grey one. Oh my god, the profile of the car at night, you know, the wide body from the rear, the stance of this car, everything just screams Italian. I have to say that again, sorry. I mean, it just screams Italian. It's just amazing that something like this came out from our usual pragmatic Japanese. Okay, Look at that. Now, if you can't afford a Ferrari GTC 4 Lusso, then that's your next best thing. What a beauty. Okay, sorry, I mean, yeah, huge C-pillar. That's my exterior walk around review. Alright, lovely taillights, and the 2 litre comes with keyless entry, whereas the 1.5 doesn't. Okay, you can tell that the 1.5, they tried their best to squeeze their prices down, but that's the best they can do. Alright, so exterior, there are no differences apart from in terms of design, but then in the 2 litre you get blind spot warning, you get keyless entry, you get the sunroof, you get larger rims, thereabout. So it's not embarrassing to have the 1.5. Okay, boot space, decent for a hatchback, not super huge and not exceptionally small or surprisingly small, but then a load lip. But a load lip is important if you want to keep the lines tidy. You know, you don't want the whole boot to run all the way down, then you have a very droopy rear end design. Right, you don't want to lower the bumper too much. Alright, this is my favorite part of this car, and the most controversial part. Okay, that's my seating position. Okay, so Mazda said that the torsion beam would free up more space. Nah, I don't find it. I don't find them in here. It is still tight compared to Civic, compared to Corolla, compared to the others. Okay, now 2 litre you get rear aircon vents, and 2 litre you get full leather seats. The 1.5s are fabric. Okay, I like the double stitching effect they employ here, and it's significantly better than its peers. I mean, those that are sold locally. Okay, in terms of its stitching, you know, the Mazda improve a lot on that, especially the finishing in terms of the back part of these seats. Okay, this is not the one from the CX-5. I would have hoped it's the CX-5 one, where you have a lid, you have USB ports, you have cup holders there. Of course, that is very costly, the one in the CX-5, but I really hope Mazda actually employed it all across their cars so that it becomes a thing that Mazda does. Nope, unfortunately, all you get is this. Perhaps there are ways to spec it, but you can tell Mazda has been trying very hard, Mazda Malaysia, to control the cost of the car. Okay, now that's the beautiful cabin. Right, that's the driver's side control. You can see in terms of design, in terms of execution, it is just wonderful. Very minimalistic and very clean. Okay, I'll go through that in a while. Now, the back part here. Okay, if you watch my 1.5 litre video, you'll see that I pointed out this part where it was satin chrome earlier on in other cars. In the Mazda 3 1.5, it's actually painted plastic. Okay, silver painted plastic. However, in the 2 litre, these are satin chrome as well. Nice. So it's all across the car. The metal, so-called metal work, is now in satin chrome. Happy to report that. And of course, you get a sunroof. Alright, rear aircon vents are, I mean, when you have an armrest that is so big, so much room, and you still get to squeeze rear aircon vents, I think that's worth applauding already. Okay, they shouldn't have taken it out in the 1.5 version, since I believe the whole architecture is more or less the same. You know, yes, even though I said that, yeah, it's a small car, you don't really need it, but if you have it, why take it out? Right, okay. Everywhere is very plush, the materials here. Again, I'm going to say that again. Go into a Mazda showroom, hop into the back, touch the entire door card, and then go into Mercedes-Benz and touch that from the 200 over 1,000 ringgit A-Class. Okay, this is miles better. Okay, let's come to the front. Make no mistake, the mats are ugly. I would have just used some black color ones. Okay, You get some graphics. Yes, that's the LCD panel. Okay, that's the LCD panel when you start the car. I'm surprised it's not some metallized starter button. You know, this material would have made this thing look way better. Okay, there we go. Now this car has, like I mentioned just now, it has very high specifications. Okay, you have blind spot assist, you have radar cruise control, you have lane keep assist, all that are in. And suddenly you notice the competition, everybody has it now. Honda Civic with the sensing, Corolla, and this boy here is now the most expensive car in this segment because it no longer competes itself with Civic and Corolla as, you know, practical everyday family cars. Mazda 3, especially the hatchback, it now competes with the likes of Golfs, you know, or Peugeot 308s. People who buy those. Why? People who really enjoy driving, who loves whacking their cars, you know, or join Sepang track days, Ulu Yam sessions. Those people. Why? Because this car is fantastic to drive. It's a boring statement already. All Mazdas does that. Okay. Now, you get paddle shifters in the 2 litre. Okay. You get dual zone climate control. The Mazda Connect. Everything is here. Everything here is identical. Okay. Even the glove box, huge. To recap, if you haven't watched my Mazda 3 1.5 video, why they made it sliding first and then only you can open it. It's a one stone killing two bird thing. Why? Because first of all, you can just slide it open to drop your things or quickly retrieve something, and then you only open it when it's slide. Why? Because it's a huge compartment, and a huge compartment needs a huge lid, right? If you open up this way, it's gonna hit my camera, right? It's just gonna come up too far high up, and then you risk pushing it and then breaking the hinges and all that. So this design allows you to have a large opening while doesn't occupying a lot of visual real estate in the car. Now everywhere in this car is just plush. All this is soft. See that? See that? Okay, you can't really see that. Okay. You know, this infatuation with interiors that are super soft and plush results in this actually. Every part is soft. Everything. Now these are smooth, hard plastics, and this is soft. Damn, the whole thing just feels very, very high quality. Okay. Steering wheel, lovely steering wheel, nice size. The controls are fantastic. Everything feels great. Okay, in this car. So in terms of quality materials and all that, and then 2 litre, you get the frameless rear view mirrors. Sunglass holders are here, and then everything is actually feels like a European car in here. Just high quality. Even the window switches, man. This looks exactly like what? Mercedes-Benz? Or yeah, I think so. But it's high quality. Everything just feels really, really nice. Right, even these materials, the buttons and all that. Brilliant interior. Now, some things that I noticed over the past 3 days. So these are things that maybe Mazda can improve later, or they intentionally just left it out. Now, when you have your air conditioning like that, okay, if this person feels cold, of course he or she can adjust the temperature, but that's not the point. Some people just want to shut off the vent. You can't shut off the vent, no matter how. You just can't. Okay, you can point it upwards, use here or something, but you just can't shut off the vents from there. That's one thing that I noticed. Same goes with these and these. You can only control it here. Not a deal breaker, it's just weird, right? Yep. Another thing that I noticed is this. Now these buttons are really nice. Okay, setting chrome, and there are no complaints. Okay, so Mazda wants us to feel really, really nice, so that they even design it to come all the way here. But the thing is this, I believe this is the first time that Mazda did this, and in my other videos I spoke about how engineers had to execute what designers did. So of course it needs to be an external part that is mounted on. So what resulted is see that? So it's not a deal breaker again, it's just about how good the car maker is in designing all this fixture mounting points that was designed earlier on, so that they can have options like these to go in. So again, it's not a deal breaker, but then you feel great when you touch like that. Just that when it goes towards the edges, there is a significant step, okay, between them. And then other things like these. Of course, now I'm gonna judge this car the way I judge premium cars. Okay, since Mazda is going this direction, and I have a Volvo, I have an Audi, I have a BMW, I can roughly tell how premium cars are fitted together, how they design certain things. Okay, and currently in terms of fit and finish, I would use Audi, Volvo, and BMW as an example. In fact, Audi is number one in that respect. Mercedes wise, for their lower end cars, lower end with an open and closed bracket, because it goes all the way even to the E class, right? They don't really care about all this. Only when you buy an S-Class and above, or an S-Class coupe is a good example of what Mercedes-Benz is capable of. Not a C-Class, not an E-Class, not an A-Class. E-Class is of course beautiful, but I'm talking about fit and finish here. What I mentioned, okay, see, it's leather wrap here, and then towards the end, again, is your knowledge as a car maker, how you want to keep these parts from being touched. See, so this plastic here, you can feel a little sharp edge next to this leather. Now these are things that normal mass market car makers don't really care about, but if Mazda really wants to push forward, these are things they need to take note. Maybe a cap at the end here or something, just to match back this part. So these are the little things that I noticed. Another thing is we don't get the Bose speaker here, right? These are the regular speakers, and I have to say this, man, for a 160,000 ringgit car, this standard speaker that was fitted into this car is rather underwhelming. It is, yeah, I'm not sure if after buying this car you will void the warranty or not. If you change the speaker, you can check with Mazda or your dealer, because if you're someone who enjoys listening to your music, these are some of the rather lackluster or original sound system speakers from the car that I really, man, I'm disappointed with the speakers. Since we don't get the Bose, right, you should have something that is at least reasonably okay, but it's not. Okay, it is not okay for that. Other than that, everything is fine. Get a heads-up display. Oh, one thing I really like, I don't think I can show it here. When you have a car in your blind spot, not only the side mirror will light up, here your little car has little logos on the left or right to tell you where the car is coming. Even your heads-up display has an indication showing that there are cars on your blind spot. Lovely. And there's this little button. Again, I've mentioned this, Mazda engineers are big fans of of BMW. They have almost the exact same logo in the car. What is that? One push of the button, you turn everything on. Every safety system is on with this one push of a button, and when you want to go for an exciting drive, just turn them off and everything is off. So even the steer assist, when you inevitably veer across the lane markers, it will push you back and all that, right? One button will turn everything off. Okay, another thing that I noticed, again, Now the driver's seat is powered. It's very nice. I can adjust the angle and everything. And I think I mentioned in my 1.5 review that I don't mind those manual seats if it is that adjustable. See, our seats, right? One very important thing for a driver is to be able to adjust this. It's the angle. See, you can lower the seat, but I don't know whether you see that or not. See that? Do you see this part? Notice this part? There is a certain degree of angle that is very, very important for drivers. And in the Mazda 1.5 liter manual, you have a little knob to adjust that. Very good. However, in the 2 liter, even though it gives you a powered seat for the driver, the passenger doesn't get it. And the passenger seat, I can only adjust this up or down, and then the backrest. There is no this thigh support angle to adjust, so I find it disappointing as well. I really wanted that in any car, okay? And I was expecting this car to have powered seats. It doesn't. Then it's manual. I expect it to match up to the 1.5 driver side, and it doesn't as well. Okay, other than that, nope. Let's continue drive. All right, I think that's about it. This video is long enough, and I'm not sure about those of you out there, but what I know is that a lot of consumers have dropped stuffs like these in between these kind of compartments where they open and close. There is a slit, and then stuffs get dropped inside. All right. What I want to applaud here is the way Mazda designed it and QC it. See, there's a slit here, right? This thing is not wide enough for this cart to even go in or even slot here. Okay, barely. It barely slots there. It's very tightly gapped here. Okay, and then after you open it, there is no chance for any shilling or cards to be dropped in. Okay, can't say the same with a lot of other cars. Anything you need, just ask in the comments, and yeah. Cheers.